We've been talking about a new listing, Longhorn Kenya, today listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The publishing firm is set to trade all 58.5 million of its ordinary shares to become the first publishing firm to go public in East Africa. Janet Njoroge, Managing Director of Longhorn, spoke to us for more.
Now, Longhorn started a long time ago, 47 years ago to be precise, as a subsidiary of a major multinational. It was called Longhorn Kenya. Over the years, it remained a subsidiary until around the 80s. That is when the multinational started to divest slowly by bringing in Kenyan shareholders, and finally divested completely in the early 90s. And that was driven by the opening up of Eastern Europe when the Berlin Wall came down, and they thought that it was a better proposition to invest in Eastern Europe than in Africa. So that's when they sold fully to local shareholders, and the company changed name to Longhorn.
Longhorn's listing has been done at a time when Kenya is headed towards the national polls. How prudent is this move?
I think this is as good a time as any, because I think we are getting to a level where if you list now, the political risk is probably at an all-time high. So it can't get worse. The only way to go is up after that. And then you are well positioned as the new government comes into place. You don't have now to go through the process of getting approval and so on. You are ready to hit the ground running in the new dispensation. So, and then it also says something about the confidence we have in this economy. We don't believe that Kenya is going anywhere except up. So I think it's a vote of confidence in this country and in this economy.
How many shares are you going to float on the stock exchange, and at what price?
The shares that have come onto the market today is 58.5 million. They have been priced at 14 shillings, which is a discounted price. If one looks closely at the financials, it's a really good deal. So the price was arrived at based on the financials and the prospects. The listing price is 70 shillings, which then when split comes to 14, and that's the discount, 30% discount, so that you can encourage people to enter, investors to buy. So it's not a reflection on the company or the share as such. It is just that it's a good thing to discount when you are entering the market.
Other than Kenya, which are your other key markets, and how do you intend to leverage from this listing?
Kenya is very, very important, and not surprisingly, because as you know, it is the largest economy in this region. It also has very progressive policies in education compared to our neighbors. There is this whole funding of education, the free primary education, the secondary education, the provision of resources for education. So Kenya remains very, very key to the growth of the company. How do we leverage that? We look for opportunities to bring in new products, to refresh our existing products.
Longhorn was previously trading over the counter. Why did you opt for the introductory listing on the Nairobi Securities Exchange?
We didn't feel that we needed to raise capital just yet, because you go for an IPO, an initial public offer, when you want to raise capital. The board was of the view that that is not our immediate concern. We just want to list. The time will come when we will need to raise capital, and we shall come to the market and raise capital based, look at what options are available to us. The logical next step for the company is to move to the main board, as opposed to the alternative board where we've listed today. So the future is bright.
How has the process towards the listing been for Longhorn Publishers?
I think that any company that seeks to list must be prepared for the very rigorous process, the very rigorous screening by CMA, which is, I think, totally understandable. because as a regulator, they must be sure that the company does qualify to be listed. We are offering shares to the public. The CMA must be able to safeguard public interest by ensuring that the company has got good corporate governance practices that are at the level that is acceptable. So it was a process that we weren't surprised about.
How is Longhorn embracing the opportunities that ICT has to offer?
We are complementing our paper materials with digital materials. Currently, our primary school books are available on the Amazon Kindle. In fact, there is a pilot project that where the materials are being used in a school in Transmara, and that is now going to expand into a commercial sort of setup. We are working on materials that will be delivered through mobile phone. So we are innovating every day to keep abreast of the technology.
So what are your strategic priorities going forward?
We are looking at a leadership position as the educational publisher of choice in this region. That is East Africa.